Hello. And so, what I wanted to talk about today, it's kind of similar to what Jennifer was talking about, as in there's no, I guess, correct way of advocating for a disability or in my case, autism. So mine's kind of anecdotal. I was one of the community leaders for an autism charity in Ireland, but I left because they had quite a black and white view, and I did appreciate that. So I'll just give my little story. I had submitted in a personal essay. Basically, they wanted people to submit personal essays about their experience of living in Ireland with autism, or just an autism anecdotal experience. And I had written an essay, and I think they might have thought mine was too personal. Because at the beginning they were like, "This is well written. This is an important topic to talk about in the autism community." And then a few months later, they were like, "It's not accepted for design." And part of why I think it wasn't accepted because it was probably not fitting their idea of like a marketable version of autism. It was an uncomfortable version of autism to what they're used to. They're an organization that wants to market their advocacy through certain types of events and a certain look of how an autist should look like. The kind of neurotypical gaze. So we've heard of I think there's like a neuro gaze a lot of autistic people may fall into. We look at ourselves to a third perspective. We try and mold ourselves into like this accepted idea of autism. So like my essay was about struggling with female friendships as an autistic femme. So I feel like what talking points I had brought up in that essay might have been too personal, too candid, being like, oh, autistic people are all about, STEM toys and colors and special interests, and there's no like darker reality to it. Because I feel like we want to be accepted by the broader world, neurotypical community, have jobs, just basically fit into society. We advocate for this normalized version of autism, like almost like a gentrified version of autism. So where it's like the annoying aspects of autism, like PDA, alexithymia, meltdowns, are kind of brushed under the rug. And these aspects of autism do make us seem like hateable characters in other people's lives who may not understand autism itself. But I feel like if we don't talk about hateable parts of autism, bring them to the forefront of the discussion, we aren't advocating for ourselves. We have to kind of come to terms with the uncomfortable realities of autism. Like you have incels, you have social rejects, basically. You have those weirdos, those neets, those hikikomoris, and those their that's autism manifesting for them. And it's they they never got a chance to discover themselves that at the how do I phrase this right? Being kind of like the quiet kid or almost like a misanthrope um, can come along with the autistic experience. And I feel like we don't talk about that. We're like, oh, those incel freaks, they're weirdos. Let's not talk about them. Or those antisocial people. We're going to pretend they're not part of the community. When ignoring people like those and not talking about the reality, we are not advocating for the like we, autism as a whole. We're not advocating for our for people like us. I'm not phrasing this totally right, but where I'm coming from this is like I don't know if you've ever heard of the term pick me either. It's kind of like ingratiating behavior towards, I suppose, men, which women might do, so they can be picked by the other party. I feel like a lot of neurodivergent people do this where we really want to be accepted by neurotypicals by not being too much. And kind of like how Jennifer was also talking about, like her children express their advocacy in their own way, not afraid of being too much. So that's kind of what I want to advocate for, because we advocate for ourselves by talking about the uncomfortable truths about autism. Again, it's not all STEM toys and, oh, my special interest is cats. It is that too. We can include that too. But I feel like when our focus is just marketing ourselves to neurotypicals and making ourselves smaller, we're not doing ourselves justice by not talking about, like, because I feel like also when we talk about the darker struggles of it, it makes us seem insane, I suppose. It makes us seem just weirdos. Um, but again, not long ago, lobotomies only became illegal in the 70s. Bedlam was only like what, 100 and something years ago. Neurotypicals will probably not see us as people if we don't advocate for ourselves, create spaces for ourselves, be authentically ourselves, and don't be afraid to talk about resentment that builds up inside of us as autistic people. Because I feel like we're very focused on trying to uplift others. We forget to talk about just how isolating and ostracizing it can be to be autistic, because we're focused on having this uplifting community spirit, which is good. But I just lastly, I want to talk about kind of normalization theory. So normalization theory is a theory that was developed in the 60s in Sweden, where they accepted, they wanted to basically, what do you call it? Make disabled people very much fit into society, do everything the same as neurotypical non-disabled people. But it was basically accepting some degrees of disabilities to the point where you're not burdensome or seemingly hostile or belligerent. So basically, they accepted the disability as long as you're not like too disabled or too autistic. Um, and it's kind of a theory that you treat everyone to okay, so to treat everyone the same is to expect the same from everyone. And I don't think that's right. And I think we as an autistic community, and I think what Neuro Pride is doing is great, because I'm in like pride spaces, I'm in other kind of activist spaces, and I don't see much disabled activism in them. So I just want to say thank you, Neuro Pride, for letting us just talk about this. It's an important thing you guys are doing, so thank you.